I'd like to welcome in to Court TV for this hour criminal defense attorney joining us from Oakland, California, Jo-Anna Nieves. Thanks for being with us. So first off, I really like his style. The fact that he has the demonstrative aid, that tape measure to kind of lay out in the well for the jury, not because I worked in construction, but because I really think it's a good visual. What were your thoughts?
I had the same exact thoughts, Matt. The jury likes to be engaged, right? They're sitting there all day long. And when they have something demonstrative, like just simply walking a tape measure across the room and seeing whether or not the approximation that the expert gave is consistent with what the tape measure shows is compelling for them. And I think the defense attorney is doing a really good job of getting their attention, especially since the expert was such a credible and well-spoken witness on direct exam. He really broke things down in a understandable and relatable way. And so to start picking apart his testimony bit by bit, we may not know exactly where the defense attorney is going with this, but at least he's getting the jury engaged.
Right, because, the state, their case in chief, is really relying on this witness because of the origin of the fire, which he testified to being near or underneath Todd, the victim. And we already know that the cause of death by the medical examiner was fire-related from his injuries, not being run over, even though that played into it. So the state really needs the through line. So he has to really pick that apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Every little bit starts picking apart the testimony of the prosecution's witness. And so sometimes it may see that it's very methodical and, why is he going through and pulling out the prior testimony to tie him down to his past statements of 2 feet of rubble and, a 7-foot high pile of rubble. These things are important because at the end of the day, it's whether or not the witness, who is such a critical one, was credible in his estimations and assessments of what led to this incident.
Jo-Anna, you're exactly right. All right. Let's head back now to Michigan for the murder retrial of Linda Stermer. Prosecutors say that she killed her husband, Todd, by beating him, lighting him on fire, and then running him over. The defense argues that the fire was started by accident. On the stand right now, an important witness, the fire investigator. Let's get you back into court for more cross-examination.
We can see. You good?
Yes.
We can see that fireplace in the basement, right?
Yes.
Right here. So basically what we're showing is the living room area, and the living room extends out toward the bay window to the left.
No,
right?
This photo was taken from underneath the bay window.
Okay. You're saying the fireplace is directly across from the bay window. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Where you have the FP on your drawing.
What I'm seeing then is entirely the living room.
Yes.
Now,
or the basement under the living room.
The living room that had collapsed and have the 2 feet of rubble that you excavated and cleared, you and Mr. Stormzane.
Yes.
Okay. So, if somebody like Mr. Shinsky came and Mr. Shinsky took a photo a few days later, what we should see is photo of the back of the house where you laid it out, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
And what we should see somewhere in here in the back west side is a pile 7 feet by 8 feet by 7 feet high, correct?
Let's head back now to Michigan for the murder retrial of Linda Stermer. She's facing life in prison if found guilty for the murder of her husband, Todd. Still on the stand is a fire investigator. Let's get you back into court for more cross-examination.
Read from page 42 to yourself, line 13 to 16.
And I'm sorry, did you hear this expression read out loud, or?
Do yourself.
Okay. 42 to what lines?
Line 13 to 16.
Yes.
Okay. Does that refresh your memory that the reason you forgot to take a photograph or note your documentation was because it was a long day?
It does. Possible a long day.
You were tired
Yes.
after a long day.
Yes.
So you didn't document this critical aspect because you were tired because it was a long day. Fair?
Objection has an answer, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Let me ask you something. If you've trained fire investigators, right?
I have.
Okay. If you had a rookie fire investigator you were training, would you accept such a... You did the physical investigation, all the physical evidence led you to the area of origin in the living room, correct?
All the data.
All the data. All the data, including what you said was very important information from Linda Stermer, correct?
Correct.
Linda Stermer told you that she was in the basement, am I right?
I've never talked to Linda Stermer.
You read a statement that Mr. Shinsky took an interview.
Yes.
Well, you relied on it, obviously.
Yes.
And she said she's in the basement doing laundry. Yes.
Correct.
She hears this horrible scream upstairs, right?
Correct.
She runs upstairs.
Correct.
She sees the living room on fire.
Correct.
She sees her husband on fire by the bedroom, you said, right?
Correct.
Okay. Have you ever burned yourself on a stove or anything in your life?
Yes.
Okay. That pain is immediate, isn't it?
Yes. But I'm not a medical expert. I can't testify to that.
You certainly can testify to your own experience that the pain was immediate to you, right?
Yes.
I'm not trying to be funny with you. Are we clear?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
I'm going to object. I don't think that's appropriate.
I'm not
He's-
clear what
he's-
that last dialogue was
He's
about it.
smirking
Okay,
at
well,
me.
you're being argumentative, so move
So-
on, please.
You've had burns, and they were immediate, correct?
Correct.
And they were painful, correct?
Correct.
So, one of the things that NFPA cautions you is if you have a hypothesis that violates the laws of physics, that's an invalid hypothesis, right?
I'm not aware of that section, but proceed.
Okay. One of the rules of physics, we talked about Newton's laws of motion.
Yes.
No objection, Your Honor. I think we're getting into areas that's not proper for trial at this point in time. This is laws of motion. This is physics. He's not a physics professor.
He's familiar with it, and we agreed.
I'll allow some,
Thank you.
but I assume
Sir.
there's some relevance where you're going.
One fundamental law is you can't be in two places at the same time, can you?
Correct.
So, if Linda Stermer is in the basement and she hears a scream and that burn injury is immediate, that means Todd Stermer caught fire and Linda was in a different room, correct?
Correct.
Now, let's talk about some of the fundamentals of being an expert witness. One of the purposes, or one of the things you have to do is obviously collect all the relevant data, correct?
Correct all the relative data that's available.
Relevant data
Relevant data that's available.
that is available to you. What's available to you are witness statements, right?
Yes.
You can interview witnesses, nothing stops you.
No.
You can go to building departments
Correct.
to get house records,
Correct.
right? Do a lot of things that aren't just physically at the inspection site.
Correct.
And that's all data gathering.
Correct.
You can agree with me that in your fire investigation, you have to comply with the scientific method, correct?
Correct.
And you described that for us.
Correct.
Watching along with you at home, still with us, criminal defense attorney in Oakland, California, Jo-Anna Nieves. What are your thoughts about that exchange? Not good to do in front of the jury.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this chess match or tennis match that you're watching them go back and forth, and it is actually, intriguing for the jury because this is probably the highlight of their day, where you see the defense attorney kind of making commentary about being smirked at. But really, what we can tell is that the defense attorney is getting under the witness's skin by critiquing the work that he did at the scene. And so that methodology and the style of just taking it bit by bit and picking apart the mistakes that he made is really making an impression. And so one of the things we see is that the witness is a bit defensive in his answers. Even though he's maintaining his decorum and professionalism, you can tell that there's this kind of antagonistic animosity that's going on right there. And I think it's making an impression on the jury because the defense attorney's job is to call in to question what he testified to on direct.
What are you watching for as the defense introduces their case in chief? Do you think she'll take the stand?
I don't think she's going to take the stand. There's probably not much that's going to come from her taking the stand. They're going to be able to ask questions that probably won't lead to a determination of what caused this fire. I'm hearing the music.
We have to end it there. Thank you so much for joining me.
benefit.
Judge Ashley is next on the desk here at Court TV.
Don't forget to like and share this video, and for more legal insights, keep watching and subscribe to our channel.